I made it.
You
Late.
made it.
I'm too
Yes.
late.
How are you?
Huh?
How are you?
Oh, I'm great. For Sunday, I'm doing good. How are you?
Not bad. Can't complain. It's rainy, but I mean, it's England, so.
It's been raining here, so I feel you.
Okay, so first things first, for the people that live under a rock, for you to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and a few things about yourself.
Me, I'm Ria Demiri. I'm an influencer online. My background is I'm Albanian. I was born in Macedonia. I'm a single mom. I'm part of the LGBTQ community. I mean, it's a lot. So
Yeah, where should we start from?
yeah, where do we start? Life is a lot. There's a lot
Yes.
going on. Hi guys. Hi everybody.
The messages are coming. I probably won't manage to. We won't manage to read them all. Turkish. Oh, we have people from all over the place.
Yeah, I haven't been on live in a long time, so
people are excited.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've taken a break for a while.
How come?
I've just been working on myself, you know, like filling my own cup. Like, you know, it takes a lot of energy to be on, give people energy. It takes a lot. And I'm not like, I've been trying to just like learn how to protect my energy. And, yeah, I'm very spiritual. So I'm on that like track of trying to just protect my energy before I just give so much of myself to people. People are amazing, but there also is a lot of negative energy too. So I just try to protect myself.
Yes, for sure. I do get that. And I mean, I'm not viral, but I have that of giving a lot of energy to make other people like happy and yes, let's fix this, let's fix that. And then it's just really draining. So I do understand that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, when did you move to the US?
I was 2 years old. My parents wanted to come here to give us a better life because there was no job opportunities. I guess it was bad back then for my family. So they came here.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever, so I'm just, actually, I won't go straight to it. So how was it growing up for you?
Growing up, it was rough. It was rough. I wish I could remember more like good memories, but I unfortunately have remembered all the bad ones that have stuck to me. So growing up was hard. It was like a very like conditioned family. You know, your strict family. I'm Albanian, and then you grow up with family who's also religious. So it was hard. You know, like everything had to be very, very cultured. So it had to be by their standards, you know, like being conditioned is hard. You know, they teach you one way and that's the only way you should be. And it was hard because inside I felt differently. I didn't feel I wanted to do those things. So it was very difficult living.
Yes, I do understand that because I'm from Greece. So I feel that our cultures are kind of the same in a lot of things. So it's usually, it's their way no matter what. Like, you know, the dad, like the father of the house is always right about everything.
Yeah.
And it's always, I saw this in one of your interviews and I was like, yes, that's what it is. It's like, you know, it's never, you won't get probably like hit or smacked or whatever, but it's that look of the father that is enough that would terrify you.
Yeah, my dad used to all the time with his look. My dad would never like really yell or anything. All he had to do was just give me the look, and it would scare me, and I would just like, you know, I'd be afraid of just his presence. My dad, it was. Now I'm not scared of him. He's not scary to me anymore. But you know, being little, it's intimidating. You know.
Yes, for sure. Did your parents? So maybe. Let me give you an example. So if they saw something on the television, or maybe some like a gay couple walking down the street, or I don't know where else, did you get like comments from them, like oh my god, you know, stay away from that, or you know, did you get?
Yeah, my family was very racist, very homophobic, transphobic, anything. Like they were anti everything, you know. It was only like it's their way or no way, and I'm not my family was not the only one. It's a lot of people go through this. Their families are very like hateful, you know, towards other ideas and the way other people want to live. It's like their way is the best way of living, and if you stray off that, you're going to hell. You're a disappointment, you're disowned, you're no longer part of the family. It's like ridiculous. So yeah, I heard it all growing up.
Did you have, because I saw, because you have posted your story on your Instagram and also on TikTok, of course. But so you knew from a really young age. But did you ever like say something to your parents? Maybe you said, okay, you know, I have these feelings for this girl, and you were like 6 years old, let's say. No?
No, I was 5. I was in kindergarten, and I never expressed those. I actually kept that secret with me for a long time. And I'm pretty sure my mom, when I got divorced my second time, my mom confessed that like the reason why she was so pressured me into like arranged marriages was because she always knew my whole life that I was gay, and she didn't want me to be gay. And so my family knew, even though I kept that secret. It's like your family knows. Your parents have a hunch, you know. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kept that as a secret, as like, you know, that secret with me until I couldn't anymore.
Did you have someone growing up, or maybe as a teenager, maybe a friend that you came out to them and told them these feelings?
No. In high school, eventually, like senior year, but they were like very close. It was hard too because people outed me too. So it was like people tried to, in high school, you know, you think people are your friends, and then they out you to other people, and then rumors go around. So it was hard to like have, I just didn't want my parents to find out. That was the only thing. And I was glad my parents weren't involved in school stuff. They didn't come to my basketball games. They didn't get involved with any like parents. They were very like, they worked all the time. So my parents never knew anything. So I was just happy if my parents, like, I was happy my parents weren't involved in my life as far as school, because they would have known. People around school talked about, and it was hard because when I grew up in my time, it was very like uncommon for people to come out so openly and so free. You know, you didn't know many. I mean, you kind of had ideas, but you didn't know if they were. So everybody was keeping secrets, and still, obviously, gay marriage was still not a thing when I was coming out. So.
How did your parents find out? Did you get married and then told them? Like, what's the situation?
No, after my second marriage, I had enough. After my daughter was the reason why I came out. My daughter was the catalyst for everything. I literally told my parents, I was like, I told my mom over the phone, because she's like, what's going on with you? You're being weird, you know, because I've been very like myself. I've been different, you know, being more myself. So she thought that I'm like being like, I'm bad, you know what I mean? Like I'm becoming bad with myself. And she's like, what's going on with you? I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm like, I'm just being myself. And I just told her over the phone, I'm like, I'm just gay. I'm sorry. This is who I am. And I was like, you either accept me for me or you don't. And I'm like, I will gladly leave. I was like, you just won't see Ayla anymore, because that's not fair to my daughter. I don't want you around her if you're going to have that type of mentality. I don't want this type of mentality around my child either. So you have to accept me for me, or I'm gone. We'll both be gone. So, you know, and then and that's when it hit my family. You know, my parents just dealt with it, you know, at that time. They just dealt with it because they didn't want to lose me. They didn't want to lose my daughter. So they just dealt with it. So it was a lot of, my parents were very, I would say more my mom. My dad was very, he minded his business. My mom was the one that was very hard on me a lot. Said a lot of hurtful things to me, that no mom should tell their child. It was very hurtful, because you don't forget those things, you know. You can only forget them, move on, but you never forget them. So.
So you, if I'm not mistaken, you got married when you were 18.
Yeah, I was engaged at 17. I was a senior in high school. I met this, I was basically forced into a marriage. My parents showed me a picture of some guy, and I said, absolutely not. You know, I didn't even start senior year yet, you know? And my dad was pretty much like, you're going, or I'm going to beat you, and threatened to like abuse me. So I was like, fuck, I have to go. So I'm like, I'll go, but I'm still going to say no. At least I'll just do that. So I go, and I knew the man for like an hour, and we come home, and I was gone for like, I don't know, another hour. I left to go do something. I came back home, and my mom just says, hey, you're engaged. And I'm like, what? So that's how it happened. That's honestly the story of how it happened. It's not like, there's not too much to it. That's literally all that happened with my life in the beginning.
How did you manage to break up the first time?
I didn't. It wasn't my fault. It was my cousin was married to his brother, and it was just messy. So it was my first cousin. My families were really mixed in together in this family. So she got divorced with his brother, and I couldn't stay there because then I wouldn't be able to see my family. And Albanians, once you're divorced, you don't talk anymore. You're like dead to each other. So I had to, I was like, oh my God, it's my way out. So I was thankful, I was like, I'm coming too, like I'm leaving too. And my family obviously was okay with it. That was the only reason. It wasn't because I did anything wrong. It was just, I just prayed all the time. I was like, please, like anything, I'll take just anything as long as I don't get caught for being gay. I was like, please let me out of this. And literally crazy thing happened with my cousin and whoever she was married to.
Can I ask you something before moving on? Can you see me okay? Is everything all right with the connection?
You're a little blurry to me.
Can I try something?
But I can hear you perfect.
Sorry?
I can hear you perfect. You're just a little blurry.
I don't know. Can you see me better now?
Yeah, better.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you got married again, correct?
Yeah, and that was only because after I got divorced, my parents would not let me go have friends. And I was 21 years old. Like, this is the time of your life, right? You're 21, you can drink here, you can do whatever at this point. Like, people are supposed to live their best life at that age, but no, like I was literally a prisoner in my own home. I couldn't have friends, go out. I had no car. I was literally taken to school because I was going to a community college at that point, trying to get my to be in the medical field. So I was going to community college, and then my parents would take me to the restaurant. We owned a restaurant, so that's all I knew is school, restaurant. They would pick me up and drop me off, and the only time I ever had privacy was literally in the bathroom. And I had enough, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I did that for almost a year. And I forced myself into another marriage, and that was 5 years long. I stayed in that one for 5 years.
What was the breaking point for you? So when you were in the second marriage, what was that? Did something happen? Did you meet someone? Was it, you have that breaking point of that's enough? So what was that for you?
My breaking point was being in a marriage when I realized how I was at a point where I was suicidal. And my breaking point was, it's like either I'm going to like kill myself or I'm going to do something about it. And that was when I was pregnant. When I first got pregnant with my first child, and I was almost 8 months, and I had a stillborn. So that was a wake-up call for me too. But also it was like a wake-up call for me that I don't want this life at all. Like I don't want to be here, or that's where I drew the line. I was like, I either am going to kill myself or I need to do something. And literally maybe like 2 months in, I got pregnant again with my daughter. She like saved my life because I was ready to like just go, and my daughter came into my life. So that being in that marriage, I was with somebody who didn't even know how to treat me right, to be honest. So his mom was very disrespectful. She lived with us, so I never had privacy in my own home. She controlled everything, and I was again in another, almost felt like I was back home again.
Like a prison.
I prison again. Like I couldn't do anything anymore again. And I'm like, I left my house for this. I'm like, why am I hurting? What am I doing? The only thing that I ever got out of this was my daughter, and I will never regret my life. I literally will do it all over again for her. But I put myself in the same boat again. I was like, I'm gonna tell my family, and I don't care anymore. Like, this is not. So I decided to just get divorced. I was like, I'm not happy here, and that was my excuse. I didn't come out officially. But like a couple months in after my divorce, I did tell my family, I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is who I am. It's either you accept me or you don't.
Did you have struggles with your relationship in general with friends? Because how did your friends take it? Because a lot of the times it's what we say, that we expect that someone's gonna understand our pain, or our true self, and you go and just tell them, and they react like totally different from what you expected? You ever get disappointed from, people that you thought were close to you, but actually weren't?
Yeah, I didn't really have friends. I didn't. And anybody that wanted to be my friend at that point, they were just interested in just me. And I didn't want that. That obviously wasn't healthy for me to with people while I was married. Like, it was just never a healthy thing. I never had friends, really. My situation, who's gonna talk to me all day? You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't hang out. I couldn't do anything. So like, people have their own lives too. So I was alone. That's why I'm so vocal on here for younger people and people in my position, because I know how hard it is, especially when you can't when you have no one. I had no one to look up to, so I had nothing like social media, like a lot of people do now, which I'm grateful for. We're able to speak up and show people we're here for them, and that, help them in any way and use our voices for them. But I didn't have that. I never had social media or somebody to look up to, that gave me a little bit of hope. I just held on to something, and I don't know what it was in my head. Something just told me just to hang on, and I don't know. But my daughter came, thankfully, quickly after that, and my life changed after that.
Have you tried, because a lot of people, because you said to me you're really spiritual, overcoming all that, like, I can't even think of someone going through what you went through. What helped you? Like, was it therapy? Was it, I don't know, it could be anything. It could be a sport, a hobby, it could be meditation. Like, what is the thing that helped you?
At first, it was working out and working on myself, but I never really faced my trauma. I just put it under a rug. You just sweep your junk under the rug, and that's not really cleaning. You just put it away. So I did that for a very long time. And actually, TikTok, besides working out, like I said, that didn't do much. It helped me a little bit, but I didn't face my trauma. But TikTok and the TikTok community and amazing people that I've met, my fiance that's in my life, obviously has taught me a lot with spirituality and facing your trauma, and that it's okay, and that everything is a lesson in your life, and that it's supposed to be that way, and you're just supposed to learn these lessons and grow from them. You're not supposed to be living in your own hell, you know what I mean? You're not supposed to live in it. You're supposed to grow from it so you don't live in your own hell, and I just learned a lot from a lot of amazing people, and like the supporters, everybody's pushed me to be a better person, and I'm just forever grateful for that. Like, I'm still working on don't get me wrong, I'm still working on my trauma. It's not like it went away. So I'm doing a lot of meditation, like that's part of it. A lot of when my mind gets negative in my head, sometimes you gotta literally, I have to switch it off and try to do something positive, think positive, distract your mind from sitting in a negative mind space. And I'm working on that a lot. That's why I haven't been on live, because I've been doing a lot of that.
Well, I'm so grateful. I've already told you this, but never mind, I can say it again, that I am so grateful that you came and shared your story, because when someone shares the story, it's so hard just saying it to a friend or someone, that you trust, especially now going on a live that, you have all these followers, and, it's going to be there and people are going to see it. So it's really a vulnerable part to do something like that. So I do appreciate that, and I do thank you for that. And I believe 100% that you've helped so many people, whether it's coming out, seeing the true selves, because I can see it, because I've been following you the past months. And I just find it incredible that with the comments, everything that I've been seeing on TikTok, I see that it's what you said, that maybe, you had to go through all that to help so many people. Or maybe, well, of course, besides your daughter, as you say, you wouldn't regret that ever. But, maybe, you have a higher purpose in that perspective.
For sure. I feel like that's where I'm at, where it took me a long time to accept that too. That's my, I feel like that's my purpose, is to be a voice for people and to help people just just being myself and sharing my story. But yeah, that's been I'm just so grateful. My favorite part is, honestly, my favorite is when I get closed-minded people in my DMs, and they want help. They want me to give them advice on how to deal with their child who's possibly gay, because they're closed-minded and they don't know what to do and how to react to it. They need my advice. And I've gotten this a lot, and that is my favorite part, because I know I'm helping kids. I'm helping these families like be better and do better, and it's just, I don't know, it's like breathtaking. I can't explain it, but to be able to help somebody who's closed-minded have an open mind a little bit and come into my DMs, because I don't bother them. They come to me, ask me what to do and how to help them. It's just amazing. I can't even like explain it.
How is it? Because I mean, it must, for the negative comments, that's what I want to ask you, because I'm sure you get that also.
All the time. That's how I react to it, like that. I just laugh. There's nothing like, I'm telling you, like, I've grown up with the homophobic, racist, the worst of the worst family, and none of that stuff affects me. If I've made it through hell and back, when I tell you, people who I don't know, don't know me, I don't give a shit. I literally, it used to in the beginning a little bit, used to affect me. I'm like, why are people so mean? Because, you know, you'd never do that, right? So I'm like, why are people so mean? Why can't they just scroll? Why do they have to be so hateful, you know?
Yes.
It's like, I don't understand that logic. It's like, if you have a negative feeling towards somebody, just scroll. Like, why do you care? Just mind your business. Why is it? But I understand that those are hurt people. Those people are hurt. And I know that they're taking their anger and their hate and just throwing it out to somebody else, because that's how they feel better. They feel like better hurting another person. And I feel bad for those people. I do. I genuinely feel bad for those people. I wish I could give those type of people hugs. But at the end of the day, I just laugh at it. I don't let it affect me, nor should anyone else. If anything, if people affect you on the internet, and they don't know you, you know you, and you know your heart and what type of person you are. Never let anyone affect you. Literally, never let anyone affect your peace. Never. I'm telling you, don't. It's not worth it.
I do agree with that, because I think we all get negative comments, even if
not the only one. We all do. I don't care who you are.
Yes, but obviously for you it's worse because you're viral and you're there.
Well, the more you go, the more, and people are always like, I want to go viral. Yeah, go viral. You think it's fun going viral? I mean, you get followers, it's cool, but then you get like, you wanna be in the comments and you wanna respond to everybody. You wanna just interact with the followers. But at the same time, you when you're viral, you don't want to go in there too much, because you see all kinds of comments and you're like, oh, like, like I said, I can laugh at it, but at the same time, like when I see it, I get frustrated, because I'm like, why? Like, it's like, how stupid are you? Like, just scroll. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous, but it is.
No, I understand. I just
territory. Unfortunately, this is what life is. There's good, there's also evil. There's nothing you can do about it.
I know, but I just don't understand also, because I've seen it like from people that are actually doing something. Like, you are viral. I mean, you get the viral, which people don't do something, which is fine. But then, you have the people that are actually trying for something better. So I don't understand why, you have to go, because I've seen it from like stories that you've uploaded things. I'm like, why? Like, why are you using that energy? Like, to go, but I've seen it like from famous people in Greece, that people like go on the comments on the video and be like, go and die, what are you doing? And I'm like, how can you wish that upon someone?
It's like the hate people have towards the LGBTQ community that infuriates me the most, because it doesn't affect me, but I know it'll affect another person. Like, I know, like I said, I was raised by homophobes, so I'm so used to stuff like that. But like, another person could be at their lowest of low, and you can literally just push them off edge, and they could just commit suicide. And the fact that you don't think like that, it's scary. Or that you do and you just don't care. It's actually scary that there's people out there. So unfortunately, that's just you. Where there's good, there's also evil. You just gotta just keep shining and not let it affect you.
Yes, for sure.
What are you gonna do?
I want to ask you about how is United States with the LGBT plus community, because I obviously I don't live there, I've never been, but I always hear from a lot of people that they're like really religious, that there's still like racist people around. So how is that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously um, it's moving along, but it's not really where it should be in 2021. Obviously, there's still laws they're making against LGBTQ, especially for like foster care. I posted that before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can't anybody in the LGBTQ can't foster kids. So it's like you move one step forward and then they move a couple steps back. But as far as being open, you can be open, but you always have to always, no matter where you are, you have to pay attention to your surroundings. Just always be careful because at the end of the day, there's hateful people out there, and hate crimes happen. They're real. People hate certain people. It doesn't matter. It could be your skin color. It could be your orientation. Like it could be anything. Like you just gotta be careful. Honestly, like I mean, I'm open out here. I get looks sometimes, but mostly friendly in my area over here. It depends on where you are. I guess down south, maybe it's worse. I don't know. It depends on where you are. It's different. Every state is different. Up here, it's more welcoming. In the Northeast where I live, so.
Uh, that's good. Of course, yes, you hear things like, I mean, even in the UK, like I read on the news the other day that this teenager got beaten up
Yeah,
because he's gay. Like, which is crazy because you're like, okay, I get it in Greece because I've heard like news, because Greece is like kind of, I mean, they've got a long way to go.
yeah. Same with Albania and Macedonia. Like that's where I was born in Macedonia, but obviously I'm Albanian, so people are like, "Oh, come here." I'm like, I would love to, but I don't know if I can be myself with my fiance there. That's what people don't understand. People are like, and what makes me mad is when people say stuff like, "Well, if you have pride, why can't we have pride for straight people?" Well, what have you straight people gone through? You get everything. Everything works in your favor. You have every law. We just want equality like you. That's why there's pride, and it's. I've seen even people in our community feel that way. And I'm like, wow, it must be nice that you are privileged. I'm happy for you that you got to have accepting parents. No one around you's ever been homophobic. You've had it all. Like but you have to understand that like these prizes are for people that don't have that privilege. And we still don't have everything. So you should still be fighting for it just because you were privileged, but we still have laws that we don't have equality. So that's why we have pride. I just don't understand, and pride is not just a party. Pride is meant to just continue the fight where it started. You know what I mean? Like continue to fight for equality. We can't just ignore that and just be comfortable with it because you're privileged and maybe you just live in the United States and you can just say, hey, I'm gay here. There's people in other countries where they die. They die for being gay. That happens. So like stop. I just hate it. People just feel so privileged sometimes.
No, I do understand that, and I actually got a DM a few days ago from this girl, and she's in a country which, like, it's illegal everything, and she was just trying to find out like information, how like it's because she said to me I could get killed, I could go, like there's so many things which
I
is
get a lot of those too.
yeah, which you don't know how to handle it. Like I don't know how to help. I wish, but.
I mean, there's some resources, but at the end of the day, you can only refer them to some resources, but you don't even know how that goes. I don't even know. It just hurts my heart. I'm still always just grateful. Like I went through a lot of shit. I've gone through so much hell, but I'm always still grateful because there's people who have it worse than me. You know what I mean? And I can't imagine. I just can't imagine just like people being killed because of who they love. I just can't. And I can't imagine people use God in that hateful way, that's an excuse to kill people. Like who gives you the right to make laws like that? Like I don't know. I feel like I want people to wake up and stop sleeping. I don't want people to wake up. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping and not paying attention to, because there's so much distractions in this world. Social media is a distraction. News channels are a distraction. It's all distraction. It's all distraction from the real stuff.
I know, but it's what you said at the beginning. Like people just try to put things under the rug, and like not actually like it's easier to hate than help
Yeah.
and change things. I want to ask you also about the Albanian community. I mean, I have a really close friend, which is so I know a lot of things. But I wanted to ask you how, because I'm guessing, I mean, you're viral, so people must know from the Albanian community. Like, how do your parents manage to handle that? Like, there must be like some struggle there because obviously, like, if there are weddings that you have to go, like, or I don't know.
Well, at first I was very hesitant. I didn't go to a wedding for like almost 10 years. It was a long time. Actually probably longer. I didn't go to an Albanian wedding because I'm like, I'm not dressing up. Like, you're not going to see me dress up into a dress and makeup. Like, I'm not, this is me. Like, this is who I am now. I'm going to go like this. So I didn't skip my cousin's wedding, my aunt's son, because my mom was uncomfortable with it. So I'm like, whatever. I was like, I won't go, whatever. And I didn't go. Well, then I went to my best friend's wedding, and it was my first wedding, and I finally got to just go as myself. It was a little uncomfortable because at the end of the day, they're very old school Albanians, that like old school mentality on my best friend's side. But she's amazing, her family's amazing, but then obviously her relatives and a little bit old school, but nobody bothered me. It just obviously you get the looks and the the little whispers to each other.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's whatever. But as far as my parents are very they don't care anymore. My family doesn't care what I do anymore. They don't care if I go to weddings now. They support me 100% now. It's not the same as it was before. So it's been a working progress to get there though. A lot of patience.
For sure. I also want to ask you something on that. When you were married, because this is a thing which happens a lot in Greece, so I'm guessing it happens in your culture also, is, okay, so I'm in an awful marriage, like I'm not happy, whether I'm gay, whether I don't know, beaten, someone beats you, or anything that could be like a bad marriage, but you have children, so you have to stay. Did you ever think of that? Like, did it ever cross your mind that, oh, I should stay in this marriage, for my daughter?
Oh, no, hell no. I actually thought the opposite. I'm like, I'm not my daughter in a bad home where she sees me so unhappy. I was like, how am I going to be the best mom for her if I'm always unhappy? How do I show her how to be happy if I'm not happy? I can't fake it. Like, kids can sense your energy. Kids know. And you can't pretend. It's like more toxic for you to stay, because I've been in that type of family too. Like, I was raised with my parents being very toxic and very abusive. Like, my dad was very abusive growing up. Like, it doesn't happen anymore, but I witnessed it all. And all I did was want my parents to just like divorce, because I just didn't want to see it anymore. I didn't want to see my parents bicker, say hurtful things to each other. I didn't want to see my dad put his hands on my mom. Like, I didn't want to see any of that stuff. It hurt me. I just wanted them to be divorced. And even if that didn't happen and they were just unhappy, and kids want it. It's like, you got to show kids love. They just want to see happy parents in love, and that's healthy. Not this like roommate stuff, and you're just coexisting with each other, and then you're just not happy, and then you're just trying to fill your child's cup with your empty. How do you do that? Like, you can't do that. You have to think that way. You can't be like, it's better for them if I stay here. Yeah, it's better because you're just not changing their world. You're trying to you're keeping them comfortable there, but it's not better. It's not better. And let me tell you, my daughter's as happy, like, just happy. And she's so happy to the point where, like, honestly, she'd rather be around me all the time. She doesn't even like going to her dad's that much, sadly. And that's her reasoning. That's not like, but she's at an age where she can decide where she goes and when she goes and if she wants to now. So, but yeah, no, my daughter, nothing changed. Not all I see is my daughter happy.
I think it's what you're saying. Maybe, not maybe, I mean, for sure, is she obviously wants to be more with you because she actually sees that you're happy, and because obviously you're happy with yourself. And this, as you say, because like with your fiance, like, you're happy, you've built the thing that you wanted, so she can pick up on that energy. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, like, if it's, 2 months or whatever.
have either. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter at all. Like what your family looks like, if you're a single mom, single dad, whatever you are, if you're in a gay family, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, or interracial family, it doesn't matter. Kids just want love. It really doesn't matter. And they just want unconditional love. That's it. They just want that.
Yes, I do agree with that. And I had this conversation the other day, is that, when you have a child, it doesn't come like, you don't place an order. You don't say like, oh, I want a child with blue eyes, straight, and a lawyer when they grow up. Like, it doesn't work like that.
No, they don't give you a chance. Like the second you're born, it's like this is your life now. This is what we chose for you, and that's it. And you're like, well, when you grow up, you're like, that's not what I want. You know what I mean? And the second you don't want that, it's like there's either families that are okay with that, but also there's a lot of families that hate that. They just like are disappointed. It's like, why? Let them figure out their own identity and who they are and what they want. Why does it matter? They're not hurting anybody. You know what I mean? Like, who cares?
I know, but it's what you said at the beginning, that usually a lot of the times the parents try. So if like the parents wanted to become doctors, then they want that for the child, but the child doesn't want that. Like, I even went through that. Like, I'm doing something totally different from what my parents want, and it was so many years that we went through the, you're disappointing us, and all that. But we don't place our order. Like, you just need to, as you said, unconditional love, and just just give them.
Just encourage, like, just tell us you support us, and that's it. Just say you support us and we love you and we're here for you. That's it. That's all. It's so simple. Like, that's it. That's all we want you to say. We don't want you to tell me what to do and give me, if I want ideas, I'll come to you for ideas, but don't tell me how to live my life and how I should be. Or it's like everything needs to be conditioned. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's been, like, my parents were in an arranged marriage, like, and then my grandparents, it's like, I finally break that cycle. It's like, I don't want to live that type of life. Like, just because you did it, I don't want to do that. I'm like, that's not, it's 2000, like, whatever, when it was happening. And I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, no, we're not going to do this. You break that curse, that family curse.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so I have one last question. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I have two questions, because okay. I got a question in my DMs of how tall you are.
I'm 5'7".
There you go. I hope the person's watching. So I have a question. The first one is, what would you say to your younger self?
My younger self, I've done this meditation because I've had to heal that part of me. I told her that it's going to be okay, and that who you are as a person today, you'd be proud of that person, and that it's okay, and to be happy and just be a kid. And I would just if I could just hug my younger self. I don't know. I'm on that, like, I had a healing process with that once. I need to do it more, but that one's hard. That one's a little hard for me. But yeah, I think of my younger self a lot. I remember those days of being alone and sitting on a rock and thinking about, like, how sad life felt, because of the way I was being raised, how I didn't have the freedom to just be, like, I couldn't even play with the boys in my yard, you know what I mean? Like, it was like everything had rules, and it was just like, you're a kid at that point, you don't know. But yeah, I was just telling my younger self that she should be proud of who she is, and that it's gonna be okay.
Actually did this meditation that you're saying today, because she's commented somewhere. Happiness is a state of mind. Yes, it does, like, all of this. So she had a seminar today, and that's what the meditation was at the end. Like, you had to close your eyes, and, like, your younger self came, and, what would you say to them, or what would the younger self say to you? And it was amazing. So I get that.
Yeah. I actually showed my younger self. I gave her a locket in my meditation, a locket of myself, of who I am today, and my daughter and my family. So I just gave it to her, and I just told her, I'm like, hang on to it. And every time you're sad, I was just like, look at it. And I felt better after my meditation. After that, I felt a little bit better.
Okay, so the other question is, what would you say to someone? They could be any age, because, we have people that come out when they're 60 or when they're 40, or when they're, I saw a post the other day that there was this guy that he came out when he was 90. Like, you get all the ages. But obviously, like, when you are usually really young, like teenager or that age, is like, you feel so alone and afraid and
Scary.
confused. Like,
Yeah.
it's a scary time. Like, what would be your advice to someone that, is in that, it could be even, as you say, someone that is going through what you're going through, that, the parents are not accepting, or, they are going for an arranged marriage. Like, what would you say to that individual?
I don't know, like that's hard for me because at the same time, there's situations where kids like they can't just like it's hard to give advice because you don't know their situation. You know, I apologize. They're probably not safe in a situation, so I just tell them to hang on to hope and just continue to be themselves as much as they can and not to be ashamed of themselves and to that there's so many people out here who love them and they're not alone and it's not. And if you can be yourself and you are safe and it's just like you're afraid of disappointment, you're afraid you're gonna get disowned. Honestly, don't be afraid of that because life is short. I always like encourage people like you. And there's so many people who have said, thanks to you, I've come out. Like I've lost family, but I feel so much better. Just getting that off my chest, like the relief they feel,
Mm-hmm.
the weight on their chest, the all of that, I've gotten a lot of that, that they're just happy they just said it to their family. So, I mean, that's the best I can because, like I said, everybody's situation is different, and I don't want to give the wrong advice.
Yes, for sure. But
But
I mean, the whole goal is like to be your true self. You only have one life, so
yeah, well, like I said, the ones that can, you only have one life. Trust me. I wish I did mine sooner, but at the end of the day, I have a daughter now, and if I did it sooner, I wouldn't have her. So I can't say that, but if I could have done it sooner, I would have. Thinking now, if I could have. Yeah, it's scary, but can't do anything about it. You'd rather be happy than sitting miserable in your own pain. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people out here who are here for you, and you're not alone. So
yes, and as you said, this community is I don't know. I find it amazing how people support each other. And I mean, you always get, as you said, you will get the hate people, you will get all that. But I feel as the LGBT plus community, I feel that it's really strong and they are there to help people. Like I've seen that you always get that support if you need it. So
huge. The love is huge in our community and very accepting. If you ever need somebody to talk to, don't be afraid to reach out to therapy or somebody. Just reach out to somebody so you're not alone. You can talk to somebody that at least knows you. You know what I mean? Knows the real you, and maybe somebody can help you and encourage you. You know what I mean? But don't sit in it alone. At least don't sit in alone. Don't be afraid to tell somebody you trust.
for sure. Okay, these are my questions. I would like to close up here. I'm so sorry for people that we did. The comments are so like there's a lot. Like,
I don't know. There's a lot of Arabic and stuff like that. So I'm sorry. I don't understand it. I feel so bad. And I don't know if they're good or bad, but honestly, I feel so horrible that I never. They're so loving too. Like they're always in my lives, and I don't ever know what they say. But I just love that.
I'm hoping it's positive.
Yeah, they're always like in my lives. I love them.
It's just they don't stop. There's so many, so I feel so bad that we are not reading them. But thank you guys so much.
I've been reading as we go, so I've been paying
Yeah,
attention.
I read some. I even got people that are from Greece. I was like, eh.
The love is everywhere. Persian.
Yes. So Ria, thank you so much for today.
Thank you for having me on here. I'm sorry it took so long, but thank you.
No, we made it. And you are an example that you should go after the things you want. I mean, yes, you're saying it did take long. It did take like a couple of months, like to manage to reach out and book it and everything. But just chase the things you want, because you can achieve them. And thank you so much, because you're proving that to me.
Of course.
So I do appreciate it.
I love doing stuff like this and helping. So
that's the goal. So everyone, whoever doesn't know her, like go and follow her. Follow her on TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere, and just get the love, because you don't have to be in the LGBT community to
Yeah, you
actually gain something from you.
Yeah, exactly. All love.
Yes.
I appreciate everyone in here for watching, being supportive as well. So I love you guys. I love them so hard. I love my supporters so hard.
Yes, I bet. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing.
I
And thank you again. Have a lovely day.
You too. Bye bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.